Hey guys, and welcome back to A&J Education YouTube channel. In today's video, we're talking about history A-level as a subject, what it is and why you should consider studying history at secondary school. So if you're interested in that, keep watching. All right, guys. Well, it's a great pleasure to have my colleague back here in the studio to talk about history.
Yes.
Hi there.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Why should somebody consider doing history?
Well, so doing history is a lot of fun, especially if the school or the course where you're doing it is offering subject periods that you're interested in. So in terms of the skills that it teaches you, you learn a lot in terms of essay writing, critical thinking, how to really produce a solid, impenetrable argument on paper, and really just thinking through lots of information in a very exciting way. In terms of why it's fun or the content in itself, well, I personally love political history and British political history, and I was very lucky that my A-level course was mostly on that. So I learnt lots about how the world worked in the 20th century earlier and how that influences today, which is something that really motivates me.
Okay, but is there any, unless you want to be a history teacher, is there really any sense in studying history at school?
Well, of course, because not only does it teach you all of these very interesting facts and concepts about today, which is important in anything that you do, but also the skills that you learn are completely transferable to lots of different career paths or indeed other subjects as well.
Okay, makes sense. So it sounds like even though you're not directly necessarily using history knowledge, but the methods and some of the logical thinking and analysis can come in handy.
Absolutely, they can. So just in terms of how to write well and how to write clearly, that's something that you will need in any job that you do, and well, really in anything that you do in the day-to-day life, in terms of analyzing facts, the same. So I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah, and is that we're doing another video speaking about the legal profession, but is it true that lots of lawyers have background in history, and that sort of why would you say that is?
Absolutely. So in terms of what you need to be a lawyer, being able to gather lots of facts and produce these essays and write these very strong arguments, that's all stuff that you learn during a history level. And it is true that lots of lawyers have backgrounds in history. And in fact, lots of people with whom I did my history undergraduate course and history A-level are now lawyers as well.
Cool. And excuse me, what advice would you give to students who, they've decided to study history? How do they get that A star in their A-level, or that A or that B, whatever the top grade that they're aiming for?
So there are two things, I think. Firstly, in terms of content, throughout the year, you should try to be as interested as possible in the material that you're learning. That makes it much easier to memorize all the facts. A way to make it interesting, or that I found was helpful for me, is always trying to make comparisons to today and think about really why it's relevant and why it's useful. Thinking about history as a story, what happens first, what happens next, and thinking about how these events cause other events makes revising the content much easier, because the history A-level does have a lot of content. In terms of the essay writing and the skills that you need, well, the first thing always that needs to be done is answer the question. That is definitely the most important thing. Read the question and answer the question in front of you. Following on from that, it's just standard essay writing. Write clearly, write concisely, and get to the point.
Great. Well, listen, that was very clear, very concise, and straight to the point. So thank you.
Thanks.
Great. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and this sort of gave some some very clear pointers. Certainly for me. But it's clear that history as a subject is a door that can can open the door that can lead you to more than just one career, and it sounds like there is a whole bunch of careers and a set of transferable skills that many employers value. So do consider it carefully. But for now, I just wanted to thank you for making the time. Guys, if you enjoyed the video, please like it and do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We spend a ton of time with our colleagues on camera and behind the camera making these videos useful and accessible to all of you. And it takes a lot of effort, so please do support us in that. We would greatly appreciate it. But for now, thanks very much and all the best.